Pep Guardiola once said he sensed something special in Vincent Kompany, not because of trophies or reputation, but because of the way he understood the game, carried himself, and handled pressure. Back then, critics pointed to his relegation with Burnley as proof he wasn't ready. But Guardiola felt the opposite, that Kompany would rise again. And he was right. Bayern Munich under Kompany haven't just found momentum, they've become a juggernaut.
16 wins in a row, an unbeaten run stretching to 18 matches, and over 50 goals scored. A short loss may have stopped the winning streak, but the message is clear. Bayern have become terrifying under Kompany's command. What sets Kompany apart isn't just passion or motivation. It's a tactical mind shaped by Mancini, Pellegrini, and Guardiola, then forged into something uniquely his own. He didn't just absorb Pep's philosophy, he evolved it. His Bayern side is aggressive, expressive, tactically fluid, and emotionally fearless. Kane leads the line like a lethal conductor, Diaz and Gnabry stretch defenses with pace and chaos, and a midfield of Kimmich, Leimer, and Pavlovic dictates tempo with control and conviction. The defense stands firm, and Neuer still commands the box like a timeless general. And the frightening part? Bayern are doing this without even being at full health, with players like Davies and Musiala still to return.
But perhaps the real secret behind Kompany's success is psychological. This is a man who grew up in Brussels with odds of success close to zero, son of a refugee, ignored by scouts, told he didn't belong in elite football. That background gave him a mentality hardwired for resilience. He believes in growth through failure, persistence against doubt, and self-belief when the world turns skeptical. That mindset has become Bayern's DNA. His players don't just follow tactics, they buy into a philosophy of courage, aggression, responsibility, and unity. Under Kompany, Bayern aren't just a winning football team. They are a mentally armed force built to evolve, adapt, and dominate.
To understand how Kompany reshaped Bayern, you first need to understand the person behind the tactics. At Anderlecht, he emerged as a prodigy, tall, cerebral, and already a leader at 17. Hamburg followed, then Manchester City, where he didn't just win, he defined an era. 4 Premier League titles, multiple cups, and a reputation as the emotional and intellectual captain of the dressing room.
Under Guardiola, Pellegrini, and Mancini, Kompany wasn't just absorbing instructions, he was internalizing football as an art. Pep lit the managerial spark inside him, and by the time Kompany retired, the transition from player to coach felt inevitable. His first experiments in leadership came at Anderlecht, where he restored tactical identity and discipline. But it was at Burnley where the world finally took notice. After relegation, he led a bold rebuild, storming the championship with 101 points, a masterclass in modern, progressive football.
Yet when Burnley dropped again a year later, critics sharpened their knives. Too inexperienced, overhyped, not ready for an elite bench. So when Bayern Munich, battered after losing the title to Leverkusen, appointed him, many scoffed at the idea. But Bayern's board saw something the public didn't. A visionary, not a novice. And less than a year later, the results vindicated them. Kompany didn't creep into Bayern quietly. He burst through the door. A ruthless 4-0 opening cup victory, 4 straight Bundesliga wins with 16 goals, a surreal 9-2 Champions League debut.
Bayern weren't just winning, they were reinvented. Aggressive pressing, clinical movement between the lines, fast transitions, brave possession. Very quickly, the skeptics fell silent. The players bought into the philosophy. The fans began to feel the change. Bayern didn't simply get a manager, they got a psychological leader. Someone who knows how to build belief, transform identity, and bring an entire squad under a shared, fearless mission. Kompany's Bayern doesn't just attack. They suffocate opponents with structure and intention. His now signature 4-4-2 shape in possession opens the pitch like a canvas, stretching defenses until they crack. But for all the attacking flair, Kompany never abandoned his defensive roots. His consistent pairing at center back, Min-jae Kim and Dayot Upamecano, restored stability and certainty. As Bayern icon Philipp Lahm remarked, the clarity Kompany provides gives defenders confidence, and it shows in their anticipation, in their organization, and in their calmness under pressure. Kompany's influence isn't confined to tactics. It lives in the mentality of the squad. In the tense draw against Dortmund, his halftime talk didn't ignite rage, it ignited clarity. Manuel Neuer admitted those words shifted the team's energy in the second half. Bayern now play with a shared understanding, a silent agreement that each player knows his role and his teammates' role. Even setbacks didn't derail the mission. An early red for Neuer in the cup, injuries to Upamecano and Musiala, and a harsh Champions League exit. But context matters. Those failures were strategic bruises, not fractures. They didn't shake belief, they hardened it.
By season's end, Kompany had turned skepticism into admiration. Bayern reclaimed the Bundesliga with only 2 league losses, scoring 93 goals, the most in the division, while also posting the best defensive record. Harry Kane delivered a season for the ages, 41 goals and 14 assists, but the team's success wasn't built on his finishing alone. Under Kompany, every player fought, every player pressed, and every player defended. Bayern weren't just champions, they were an argument, a demonstration of how modern football can be both fluid and ruthless.
And that blueprint only grew sharper. In the following campaign, Bayern evolved into something even more sophisticated. Kompany's use of fullbacks and forwards transformed positional play into a living organism. Fullbacks stepped into midfield like auxiliary playmakers, then surged into half spaces like forwards. Kane and Gnabry roamed freely, trading zones, pulling markers, and creating unpredictable angles. The shape shifted dynamically, 4-4-2 in build-up, 3-5-2 in sustained pressure. The beauty of it wasn't chaos, it was orchestrated unpredictability. Tactical jazz, disciplined structure with the freedom to improvise, overwhelming defenses through movement rather than brute force.
When Bayern surge into the final third, Kompany's football becomes a living storm. The fullbacks push high and wide, midfielders fill the half spaces, and forwards rotate in unpredictable patterns. Opponents are pinned deep, chained inside their own defensive third, unable to escape. Every short pass accelerates tempo, every overload collapses structure, and every regained ball turns instantly into a fresh wave of pressure.
And that pressure carries purpose. Bayern don't just try to score, they try to suffocate. When possession is lost, 6 or 7 players immediately collapse onto the ball carrier, ripping away any breathing room. The aim isn't simply recovery, it's prevention. Prevent counters, prevent rhythm, prevent oxygen. The Union Berlin goal captured that perfectly. 8 Bayern players already inside the box, Stanisic drifting centrally, Diaz hunting a loose ball, and smashing an impossible finish from the tightest angle. That wasn't luck, it was system meeting instinct. Organized chaos rewarded.
Even at nearly 40, Manuel Neuer remains the silent engine. He steps into build-up as a third center back, supports circulation, and resets tempo with calm precision. Out of possession, he sweeps aggressively, cutting out danger before it even materializes. The fullbacks, meanwhile, remain Kompany's wildcard, roaming with intent, bending shape. Stanisic often drifts inward to link play, while Leimer adapts based on Olise's movement, compacting the middle when the winger stays wide or exploding forward when Olise cuts inside. Their rotations carve confusion through defensive lines.
Bayern's stability begins in the back, where Jonathan Tah and Dayot Upamecano combine composure with forward ambition. Tah plays the role of the anchor, conservative in movement, but brilliant at threading progressive passes through pressure. Upamecano, meanwhile, attacks space with force, stepping into midfield and splitting lines with confident surges. They're not just center backs, they are the gateway between control and counterattack. In front of them, Joshua Kimmich conducts Bayern's tempo with surgical intent. He drifts between the center backs to form the base of build-up, creating passing angles and recycling possession with effortless calm. Alongside him, Leon Goretzka and Pavlovic provide positional intelligence. One holds the deeper channel to form a 3-1 shape, while the other shadows roaming threats and secures midfield integrity. Everything Bayern does, from pressing traps to controlled possession, runs through this central triad.
Further ahead, Serge Gnabry and Harry Kane operate as hybrid forwards with playmaking instincts. They drop off the front line, connect with midfield, lure markers into dead zones, and then, the moment possession is lost, shift into pressing machines, sprinting into duels and cutting off passing routes. The wingers stretch the field even wider, giving Bayern constant width and breathing room. And among them, Luis Diaz shines brightest. With 12 goals and 6 assists, he has become Europe's most electrifying winger, daring on the dribble, lethal in isolation, and completely unafraid of risk. And at the center of the storm is Harry Kane. Now, more than just a scorer, he's a complete footballing nerve center. He drops deep to dictate play, drifts wide to create triangles, then crashes the box with cold-blooded finishing. His numbers are monstrous, 24 goals and 3 assists, rivaling Haaland and Mbappe, yet his defensive work rate is just as brutal.
The result is a team that plays like a single organism, fluid, responsive, and collectively intelligent. Bayern's structure constantly reshapes in real time, expanding to stretch opponents, compressing to trap them, accelerating to strike, and pausing to control. Under Kompany, possession isn't just a statistic, it's a weaponized state of dominance.
You get a machine, a tactical organism, a side that doesn't simply return to former glory, but evolves into something even more frightening. This isn't a comeback, it's a warning.